Hello people! Welcome back to Food.Glam.Life. I hope you guys are doing well. I have to apologize for being totally out of it and not putting up any videos for the past, I think, 2 weeks or so. I was traveling, I wasn't able to really film, and yeah, it was hard editing and everything, and I know that's not good enough excuse, but that's what happened. Well, I'm back now, so hopefully I will be more regular and you guys will keep tuning in to my videos. Thank you so much for all the support that you guys have shown so far. Excuse how I look. I'm extremely jet lagged. I know I have dark circle issues, but this is just out of control. And I am exhausted right now. Just speaking into the camera is taking up all of my energy. So please do forgive me if I kind of seem out of it, but I'm going to try my best to do something of use for you guys. Anyway, so today, as I have been requested, I'm going to be doing like a natural kind of an everyday look that I would do for myself, that you could probably do for work, in case you have an interview, or just, you know, just when you want to put minimal effort into looking just, you know, a little awake. Okay, I don't know how many of you have had this issue, but I've had this problem where times when I've gone into work without any makeup on, people have asked me if I was sick. And I'm like, no, that's just what my face looks like. I'm going to try to keep it very light, very neutral. We're going to be using some kind of like warm, neutral kind of shades for the eyes. I normally don't use foundation for this kind of a look. Most likely I end up using BB cream or a CC cream. And in this case, I have these two options here. This is something from a Korean company called Erborian. I love it. It feels like a moisturizer. It's called a High Definition Radiance Face Cream Skin Perfector. And it's got an SPF of 25. And what I've noticed, like I've worn this and I've literally had people tell me my skin looks amazing. And they're like, what have you done to it? And I'm like, nothing. I don't know what it is, what they've put in this. It's really interesting because it comes out like a white kind of a cream, but once you blend it in, it kind of just adapts your natural color. So I don't know what it does, but I've noticed with me, it just sort of just blurs everything. And then the other one that I recently got, and again, I think I've told you this, I love buying travel size things because I can get more stuff that way, right? This is by IT Cosmetics, and it's a color correcting CC full coverage cream. This has anti-aging hydrating serum, and it's got an SPF of 50, so that's pretty high up there. Why I like BB cream or especially CC cream is because it feels like a moisturizer, so it doesn't really feel like I'm putting foundation on. Also, I got extremely tanned while I was traveling, so in that sense, the CC cream might just be a good thing. I'm actually going to mix it up just to show you how this works. This one I actually apply like a tinted moisturizer just because that's how it feels. And the whole thing with an everyday kind of a natural look is that you kind of want to look like you're glowing from within, like you're having a good skin day and that you look alive and well. It looks more like a shine right now, but more than shine, it kind of is like very luminous. Being a dry skinned girl, I'm always looking for products that make me look luminous. I'm going to go in with this NYX Dark Circle Corrector. So this is applied underneath your concealer because it has this kind of a, it's not pure orange, but it has like peachy salmon kind of tone. It's supposed to help neutralize the purples and the blues and kind of the browns that end up where your dark circles are. So, you know, that discoloration that we usually have, especially in South Asian skin tones. Sometimes I notice people will apply a very bright kind of a concealer and it actually ends up looking kind of ashy and gray. And that's because the blues and the purples of your dark circles, of their dark circles, are sort of coming through because they have not been neutralized. So that is what we're attempting to do here. I'm going slower because I'm explaining, but trust me, this is a very quick way to do it. I'm using the Instant Age Rewind by Maybelline. And why I like using this for an everyday look is because it's not extremely bright, so it looks more natural. So what I just like to do is go around sort of the center of my face and also go in here. If you're feeling extra adventurous or, you know, have darker circles like I do, you can go in with a slightly brighter concealer just in this area. And then make sure you go in a back and forth kind of a motion. I'm just going to use my MAC Mineralize Skinfinish, which I'm just going to use to set the places where I use concealer, not necessarily use it all over the face. You also don't want to overdo it because you don't want to start looking cakey or have creases. There comes Leddu again, making his appearance. I'm going to do my eyebrows and come back because you've seen me do my eyebrows a few times already now, so I'm not going to bore you with that. I am going to be using Brow Wiz by Anastasia, and I'm using the color medium brown, so see you in a bit. So for my eyes, for an everyday sort of natural look, I go for very neutral kind of shades. I like using my Makeup Revolution, I Heart Chocolate. I can also go in with my Naked One palette by Urban Decay. If nothing else, you can even just go in with your bronzer. I don't know if you saw my video where I did my makeup in like 5 minutes in a New York City parking lot. If you haven't, check it out. It's really short. It was fun for me because we had to be somewhere. I looked like trash and I really did not want to go to brunch looking like that, so I wanted to put in a little bit of effort, a little bit of color back in my face, and we had no time, and I was literally holding my makeup bag and I was just doing it right there, and my niece said, "Why don't I film it while you're doing this?" And I was like, sure. So that's how that came about. It was not planned whatsoever. In that as well, I didn't even bother pulling out my eyeshadow palette. I used the bronzer and the blush and I mixed it up, and that's what I used for my eyeshadow. Point being, you don't even need like a specific kind of an eyeshadow palette to get a natural everyday look. So the whole idea behind this is that it needs to be easy, breezy, just simple. Today, although I do have these options which I normally use, I did get this really cute tiny little Tarteist Pro to Go palette, and it's got these really beautiful colors in it. So I'm going to be using that just for fun, just to change it up for myself a bit. This color called Crisp seems like a good transition shade. What you just basically need to know is a transition shade is something that is kind of a warm, light brown, peachy, orangey. The whole idea behind a transition shade is basically you apply it over your crease and buff it out as you work it up, and it's a transition between the shades that you have so that any eyeshadow you have doesn't look strange, because that is basically where a natural shadow is formed. And when people talk about a transition shade, it is something like this shade or this kind of a something that's not too dark. Why I said you could use your bronzer is because if you notice, even the bronzer, it's basically the same kind of light brown kind of a shade. The transition shade is going to vary according to what your skin tone is. So if you are very light skin toned, then perhaps something that dark or brown will be too dark, and you might need to go for something lighter, and maybe something like this color Drive, which for me would be very pale, but for someone who is pale, it might work. But again, for someone who's darker, maybe would not be dark enough. So basically, we're going to go into this transition shade. There is, I can see a lot of fallout, so I'm going to tap that off. Okay, so I zoomed you guys in a bit so you can see what I'm talking about. When you open your eye and you see this line, that's your crease. And that is above and below is where you're going to put in that transition shade. And then you kind of use a slightly darker color and go right into just the outer corners and blend that in. That's a lot of fallout. So all I'm going to do is take a light shade to accentuate my brow bone. And in this case, it was this shade Drive. You want to use something that's kind of a light vanilla-y kind of shade, and more likely to be matte versus something that's glittery, because for an everyday shade you don't want like shimmer going on up here. So what you can do for your eyelid is again take a lighter shade. Now it's up to you if you want to go completely matte or you want to put a pop of shimmer in, which I normally like to do just to give it a little more life. In this case, I'm just going in again with this shade Drive, and I'm putting that on my lids because I'm just trying to keep it matte. I will take the shade Hype and then just go into the very inner corners. So it's a good idea when you use like to sort of highlight just the inner corners of your eye, just because it makes your eyes look a little more awake, gives a little distance between your eyes and brightens it up a bit. You just want to sort of take the same shades and put that on the bottom side of your eyes, just so that it has a little bit of balance. You're more than welcome to go in with a shade even darker, if you wanted this shade Styling, put that right in the corner on the top and below. That's when you start getting sort of carried away. If you start saying, oh, I could put this in and then put this in, and 10 minutes later you have like a full-on eye look going, whereas you wanted a very natural kind of look going. It's always a good idea to keep a brush that looks like this with a dome, and they should be soft and fluffy, and the best thing about them is that you can just use them to blend everything together, just so that there's no demarcation and everything looks like it's seamlessly put together. And then what I like to do is go in with an eyeliner, and you can use any kind of liquid eyeliner. And what I like to do, because it's an everyday kind of look, I don't like to normally do a very thick eyeliner. Sometimes I'll go with a brown eyeliner, and I'm not going to do it like dramatic kind of a wing, but what I do like to do is make like a very soft short wing. So if you can see, it's just a very delicate kind of a wing. I'm not doing anything extreme or dramatic. So once I'm done with my eyeliner, I like to go in with Rimmel Scandalized Kajal Pencil Eyeliner, whatever, in this nude color. And I'll just use that on my waterline. This is one of the tricks that people use to make you look more awake, because what it does is it covers the pinkness. So hopefully it makes me look a little bit more awake. I like to curl my eyelashes just because they're so flat and straight. If you have naturally curly eyelashes, this is another step that you could just skip. But yeah, so my eyes are done. My entire look is almost there. What I really like to do is take a bronzer. I'm going to just take it on just anything, any sort of brush that is fluffy. So bronzer, yes, is a great way to just bring some color back into your face. I want to go into a light blush, and here I'm going to be using this one by Tarte, and it's called Party. You see how it just brings this nice rosy kind of pinkness to your cheeks. I just take whatever's left off and kind of go over, you know, my forehead and my chin and stuff. I'm going to take the Wet n Wild highlighter in Precious Petals, which I know I said that I thought they had discontinued it, but they hadn't. It's just really hard to find. I was really happy when I did find it. It was the last one left at a CVS. It's a beautiful, beautiful highlight, as you will just see. It just gives that glowing from within kind of look, like you're really just healthy and happy. Life is good. Look at that. Highlight is completely a very personal kind of thing, like whether you like it very intense or very extremely metallic, or you like it light. I'm not a very extremely intense highlight person, but I do like to have it just because I like that illuminated kind of a look. It just picks up the light where it naturally hits your face. And finally, what I would do is go in with a little bit of lipstick, but before I do that, I am going to set my face. And then I'm just going to secure it with the sponge while it's still a little wet. So depending on my mood, I can go with a bright lip, I love going with a pink lipstick, and sometimes I like to go with a nude lipstick. So today I think I might be just going with a nude lipstick. I'm taking this Sephora lip liner in the color Deep Beige. I've already used a little bit of lip balm. I was deciding between the Sephora cream lip stain and this Tarteist. I think what I'm going to do is, what I love to do is mix. So because this is slightly a little more pinky nude, do the base with this. And then I'm using the Tarteist lip paint right in the center. And this is for a light ombre kind of look. And there you have it. That's my natural everyday kind of look. It really depends on how much time you have. You could cut down on half the steps if you don't find them necessary. But the whole idea is that you're going for something that looks very neutral. I'm sure you're looking at my face and thinking, has she really put on any makeup? But you saw me doing it, right? For me, I know that I can feel confident when I go out and people are not going to ask me if I'm sick or if I just came back from the dead. It's just makes me look a little livelier, a little happier, and a little healthier. So that's what it's all about. So if you like this video and you would like to see more content like this, please give it a thumbs up subscribe to my channel, and I will hopefully see you soon. Take care. Great. Always do this.